Welcome to Albuquerque Real Estate Talk, episode 494, mid-June 2024. And today we're going to talk about the May home sales data, and we have some records, Tracy, for New Mexico or for Albuquerque area. We've got some good news on mortgage rates. I'm sorry, go ahead.
We had record heat this week too.
We had that as well. We've got some supply numbers I want to talk about, meaning the number of homes on the market is trending in a good direction. I want to talk about that. There's the Fannie Mae Home Purchase Sentiment Index. We're going to go through that because it's pretty negative. The sentiment's pretty bad about home purchases right now. So I wanted to chat about that, as well as how accurate are these automated home valuation tools that are out there. So we'll get into that as well. Again, it's Tego and Tracy Venturi, as always, here again for episode 494. You can reach us at the Venturi Realty Group of Real Broker at 505-448-8888.
Hey, and if you're in the area, we're at 1119 Alameda Boulevard Northwest, right by the river. Stop in sometime. Some of you do, and we always love to see you. So come say hi if you're in the neighborhood. Tego, open houses.
Yep.
Newly listed properties. We have plenty to talk about today in between all those market stats.
Well, let's talk about the listings. What we've seen, it's very normal this time of year that we see a surge in the number of homes coming on the market, and that's definitely true this year. We've seen about 400 homes come on the market in all of our MLS in the Albuquerque area here. That's the whole MLS. But this week, there were about 350 just in Metro Albuquerque properties that came on the market. So that we're definitely seeing that surge. We've seen the number of homes total available on the market increase quite a bit. I always remind people we're still probably 40% lower than we were at the same time in 2019. So yes, the number of homes on the market are increasing. Days on market is getting longer though, Tracy. We are seeing that homes are taking a little bit longer to sell, especially if they're not those perfect gems that there's high demand for certain areas, certain price ranges. We're still seeing certain homes go off the market immediately, but days on market is starting to tick up a little bit compared to years past.
Yep, it sure is. So I also noticed, Tego, that we're seeing more price reductions.
Yep.
I think this past week, let's see.
297 of the about 1,800 properties that are on the market. Just in the week. So as a total, it's about 35% of all the homes that are on the market right now that are active in the MLS have taken a price reduction. So again, that's I've talked about this now, I think 3 weeks in a row, Tracy, and that's unusual for this time of year. And we talked about it last week. It's like, what do we think's causing that? I think part of it is just there's still affordability challenges for a lot of folks. Mortgage rates were not too great. We've actually got good news on mortgage rates this week. I'll mention that here in a second. But I don't know. I think it's just, I don't know. What do you think? What do you think it is for pricing and why we've seen so many price reductions?
Yeah, it's a combination. I think sellers and realtors are pricing houses more on the top end of the range. And we've got houses at all ends of the range in the same neighborhood, right? Some are below average, some are just right at average, and some are the gems. And the gems are still selling for top dollar, but everything else needs to be priced for condition, location, how the house smells, how it presents, where it's at on the location. It's all important.
Yeah.
And buyers, even though
it's not 2021 again.
Right. Even though buyers, for the ones that are priced right for condition, location, and everything, there are buyers that want to compete, and we are still seeing some multiple offers for those houses, but everything else needs to be priced for how it is.
Yeah, so that's the tough thing. You can't make a blanket statement about anything in this real estate world. Is it a seller's market or is it a buyer's market? Well, I don't know. Which market are you talking about? And I talked about that last week. In the higher price points, let's say 600,000 and above in our market, there's about 4 months supply, which is trending closer to a kind of balanced market versus the lower price points where we're still at a 1 month supply. So it really just depends.
And we really have seen that, Tego, in those prices. We have seen less showings, things not selling as quickly in the higher prices for sure.
Yeah, not as much traffic for sure. Yeah. Absolutely.
So we do have some open houses and some properties I want to talk about.
Great.
So I can do it in two different segments. Let's start with vacant land. We have quite a few vacant land listings on the market, from just investment type cheap lots in Rio Rancho that you might want to buy and hold.
Hey, cheap. You mean well priced?
Affordable lots that you might want to buy and have them passed down to grandkids someday or whatever. They're not really like buildable today. So there's quite a few to choose from there.
We do find people that buy those properties and they're just kind of parking some money there.
Right. Yeah. Because they don't really need maintenance. It's not like buying a piece of land and you have to keep the weeds off them until you do something with it. Right. But we have that. But we have a couple in Corrales. We have one on Railcar that's at the north end, right next to the river. You've seen it?
Yeah, that's
times.
That is a
really
special lot for a special property. It would be an estate type property, a luxury type property. You wouldn't want to spend.
It's $399.
Yeah, so $400,000. You're gonna put a very special property on it, but it backs up to the Bosque.
Right, and it's 1.14 acres, so there's enough room there to do a house, swimming pool, pool house, whatever you need. So it's a great lot. We have a couple others. We have a lot for sale on Villa Entrada, 20 Villa Entrada in San Pedro Creek Estates. And for those of you that might not know San Pedro Creek Estates, it's near and dear to my heart. It's where I started my real estate career, selling 10-acre parcels. So San Pedro Creek Estates is 10-acre lots. Most of them are built on. Well, a lot of them are built on, right? There's estate homes on those lots. People bought them, picked their own builder and floor plan, and had a house built. But this one is a 10-acre parcel that's for sale for $165,000.
Oh, wow.
And San Pedro Creek Estates has I think it's like 650-acre open space. There's that huge arroyo where we've found arrowheads, pottery shards and things.
Yep.
So it's a great community. It's just on the north edge of Paco.
Yeah, so you just north 14. And yeah, it's beautiful out there.
Yes.
The whole big sky, wide open spaces, that's the place to be.
Right. So 20 Villa Entrada in Sandia Park for $165,000, a really nice 10-acre parcel. We have a lot in Rio Rancho. It's 2.5 acres with utilities, everything except sewer. So it's got water, gas, power, 2.5 acres, and it is zoned. You could have horses there. And what's really cool about it is it's basically across the street from the high school and maybe a block west of the Rio Rancho High School. So very central Rio Rancho. So that 2.5 acres is $155,000 ready to be built on today. We have a couple others, North Albuquerque Acres, others in Corrales, but just wanted to get our feet wet and remind people, I personally have closed over 200 parcels of land. So it's a little near and dear to my heart. I really love land, and it helps me justify having an SUV when I have to go drive off road.
Yeah, that's it. That's what you need it for. That's what you need it for.
Yeah. Well, that was the original. Remember, Tego, when I was always driving around off road and I had a mom van?
Yeah, it was not working too well.
It was not working very well. Yeah, I never got stuck.
I still remember you complaining about the mom van.
No, I did get stuck in the mom van out in San Pedro Creek in snow.
Oh,
I remember because I was with clients. That was not a good day out.
Yeah.
That is a day you don't want to be out showing houses when you get stuck in the snow.
There's always stories in the real estate world of things that happen. Like you open the door and the dog goes running out that happened to me once. The dog went running out the front door, didn't know there was a pet in the house. And my clients and myself spent an hour running around the neighborhood trying to catch the owner's dog.
I had a cat run out the door once. And as you know, Tego, I'm very allergic to cats.
Yes.
And I had to catch that cat, which they're fast. And I had to catch the cat, touch it, put it back in the house. And that's like not good for me. And the same thing, I didn't know there was a cat in the house. The directions didn't tell me. Anyway, the joys, of showing. And I'm showing houses today. 7 houses on the west side.
Awesome.
Very exciting. So that'll be fun afterwards. But we'll talk about open houses after this.
So a couple things I want to run through. I did mention there was good news on mortgage rates. We did get good news on mortgage rates this week. It's really interesting because the inflation numbers came out this week. And they were good. They were kind of what everybody expected. Good in the sense that they weren't elevated, right? In the sense that it wasn't like, inflation's starting to go back up, which means that the Fed, it kind of tells the Fed what they're going to do, or basically they're influenced by that. Long story short is the Fed came out and said, we're not going to drop the prime rate yet. We might do it one time this year, but all of that news kind of settled down in the bond market, which in turn brought down mortgage rates a little bit. So the headline number for mortgage rates for 30-year fixed rate mortgage is now back under 7%. Again, that's for the well qualified, good down payment, all that stuff, right? So there are anyway, it's been good news on mortgage rates because we were up over 7.5 there for quite a while, and now it's back down under 7.
So we're back to what interest, well, actually we're down from what interest rates were when I was newly licensed.
Yeah.
Because 7.5 was pretty much common, and sellers typically paid 1 point origination fee for clients back when I started.
I'm not going to say we've talked about the lock-in effect, Tracy, where there's people that own homes. They've got those 3 and 4% mortgages. They're not too motivated to give up that good mortgage rate and take on a 7, 8% mortgage. But there's this belief out there in the housing econ world that if we get down in maybe a 6 handle, like down under 7, in the low 6s, we're already down there. If we get down in the low 6s, that may open up more people saying, okay, it's time for us to sell. That makes sense for us. So anyway, it's just this whole thing. Mortgage rates and what the mortgage rates are doing affects so much that's going on in the housing market. And we've talked about the fact that demand is still good. 300 homes went under contract in Albuquerque last week, but it's not as strong as it has been in previous years. And I think affordability is the big thing.
Yeah.
And speaking of affordability, I wanted to talk about home prices in May for Albuquerque. We have some new all-time high sale prices and home values. A couple of different things I want to break down, though. So, the headline is home prices hit an all-time high for Albuquerque in 2024, May 2024. And when I say hit, that's for what a home sold for as well as values. A couple of things. Median price for a resale home in Albuquerque was $370,000 median price for a single-family detached home across the whole market. A new construction home was $386,000. That's actually down from a couple of years ago. But again, resale homes all-time high at $370,000. If we break it down by price per square foot, though, the average price for resale homes was $210 per square foot versus new construction at $233 per square foot. The interesting thing is new construction also hit an all-time high for price per square foot, where the median price dropped, the price per square foot went up, which tells us that new construction, they're getting smaller. They're selling better value homes in the sense that the price point, the overall price point is coming down, but the actual price per square foot continues to go up. And I actually was on a call with a bunch of builders the other day, and there's no sign of cost to build going down.
Right.
That's not going to happen.
You were telling me the story about an electrician friend of ours.
Yeah.
Who was saying
HVAC guy. Yeah.
An HVAC friend of ours. Yeah. Different contractor. Heating, ventilation, air conditioning contractor.
Yeah.
And he was saying it's just hard to even do a bid now because the price of a furnace or whatever, a cooler that he bought 3 weeks ago, he can't even firmly give a bid without going and getting a new price just to do a bid because prices continue to keep going up, which is what we're noticing.
No, for sure. And then the last thing I want to hit on is Zillow Home Value Index. This is where Zillow looks at the entire market. And they look at every home.
Entire country.
Well, they look at the entire country, right. But they break it down by market. Yeah, that's a good distinction. And I always look at it because they do it monthly, so it gives us a pretty good read in pretty good, relatively quick compared to a lot of the other data we get on home prices. But they also say if you look at the value of all the homes in the market, not just ones that have sold, they're now putting it at $335,000 for all the homes in our area for what they call a typical home, right? And I don't want to get into the wonkiness of it, but it is basically what is a typical home in Albuquerque. They're saying at $335,000 is the value. That is an all-time high. And the other thing they do is say, okay, how much has that changed? And that's about 6% higher than 1 year ago,
Which is pretty much in line.
Tracks with other data I've seen. So
Right.
a lot of numbers there. The takeaway was basically home prices in Albuquerque are at an all-time high.
Which is where you started the conversation earlier.
Does that mean that does that mean we've hit a peak and they're going to go down? I think that's what people's next question is, like, oh, our price is going to drop. I've got more data on that.
We're in June. Oh, you have some data?
Oh,
you can foretell the future?
I can.
Yeah.
A little bit. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, if you never know, the black swan event, the pandemic that we didn't see coming, whatever it is, big things can happen, right? That can affect it. But right now we're still limited supply. We still have demand. Mortgage rates are definitely taking a hit on what people can afford. But I see home prices still above last year, list prices, because list prices tell us what sale prices are going to be. List prices are still above last year, just not as much as we've seen in the past years. But anyway, so Zillow also, and you have to understand, Zillow has some of the best data in the entire country on every single home in the country. They know what's going on with real estate. They have all the feeds to the 600 different multiple listing services around the country in real time, what homes are getting sold for and what homes are getting listed for. They got really good data, is my point. But what they do is they put out a forecast. They put out a 1 month, a 1 quarter, and then a 1 year forecast. And for the entire country, they're kind of calling year over year price appreciation flat, meaning they don't see a lot of appreciation. And they're actually calling for a little bit of decline in a lot of different markets. But the interesting thing I found is that Albuquerque, out of the 200 markets in the entire country, Albuquerque was one of only 30 that they feel like home prices are going to be up again next year. And Albuquerque was ranked 18th of these 200 markets around the country for home price appreciation year over year. This is what Zillow's projecting.
So you're saying it's not really you that's the fortune teller. It's Zillow.
It's a little bit of all of it.
Yeah.
Well, that's what you got to do. You can't take one data point and say, oh, there it is. There's the answer. No, you look at this, you look at that. I look at list price. I look at price reductions, all of that. And you kind of put it all together. You look at how many homes are coming on the market, how many homes coming off the market, all of that. And you come up with a thing. And then you look at what Zillow comes up with. Yeah, I suspect home prices are going to be up year over year. Is it going to be another 8-9% year? I don't think so. I think it might be 2-3%, but we don't know. Okay,
I'm going to talk new homes for a minute.
Yeah, I think that's
changing
a good
the
idea.
subject. So we were talking about new construction and the average price per square foot that's actually come down. Well, D.R. Horton, we had Jackie Ortiz with D.R. Horton in our office this week for our team meeting, along with Bernadette, who's with DHI Mortgage. And they were telling us about some great homes and some great incentives that they have. Oh, you just happen to have
I just happen to have the flyer sitting here on our table.
I didn't even know that. They have some really great incentives. Some of their houses, they're actually offering almost $138,000 in incentives, discounts, interest rate savings, price savings, and things. So it's a great time if you're thinking about new construction. Give us a call. We can help you find the right neighborhood, whether it's D.R. Horton or some other builder. There's some great ones right now. There's parts of Albuquerque and Rio Rancho, Las Lunas, where you can get a new construction house under $350,000. And you just told us what the median was.
Yeah.
So that's great. Some of the benefits on new construction, you probably won't have a lot of maintenance issues for 10 or 15 years. You're getting a new HVAC, a new roof, new appliances. Everything's should have a great life expectancy. So even if you stretch yourself to buy a house that's newly constructed, maybe it's at the top of your price point, at least the maintenance over the next few years are going to be minimal, we hope, right? The builders always have some sort of warranty anyway. But, we'd be happy to help you. They've got some buy downs right now. This flyer says 3.5% for your first year, 4.5% your second year, 5.5 fixed for 30 years. They're buying the rate down for you.
Yeah, so that's what a lot of the home
huge.
builders are doing. I know I saw Centex is doing the same thing. I'm not sure who else, but a lot of the builders have a lot of great incentives on the mortgage rates, which I keep talking about, to help people get into homes and keep their payment in a reasonable line. So
Yeah, I saw Higgs Brothers, which is another New Mexico builder, had some incentives going as well. Edward Montoya, our good friend over at Higgs Brothers, could definitely help us if you're thinking of something. They've got some beautiful homes on the west side as well as in Rio Rancho.
Well, when we do the show, Tracy, we're trying to educate about the market. We don't promote ourselves that much. Maybe we should do it more. But I do want to promote ourselves because people that are thinking about new construction should reach out to us so that we can give them the broad picture. Because if they just walk into one sales office, they're going to be looking at that instead of seeing the broad picture. And there's tools out there where we can set up searches for you, send you new construction properties that are on the market, so you have a sense of it. So
my favorite, Tego, is to take people out and show them new construction, go from one different company to another and see what each one's building and what the incentives are, what the lot is, what the view might be, what their fit and finishes are, and help them. Because like you said, sometimes people are out driving around and they pull into a sales office and they don't know, maybe a half mile down the road, there's a different builder with a house that might actually fit their needs better. So it's always great to get us in your corner. Whether you're not thinking about new construction, but just thinking about buying a house, we can do both and put that in the mix.
I want to jump to the home buying sentiment index that Fannie Mae does I think they do it monthly, I guess. I get it as a monthly survey. And what they do is they do a survey and they ask, is it a good time to buy? Is it a good time or is it a bad time to buy? And this is for people about home buying. And we do a lot of positive news, but sometimes there's bad news. And so we got to report that as well. And it hit 86% of people surveyed said that it's a bad time to buy a home. That's almost an all-time high.
Yeah.
And the number of people said that it was a good time to buy was only 14%, which is almost an all-time low.
Wow.
So it's interesting. And that the other thing is, the other question they ask is, I don't know. And usually there's 10% of people that just say, I don't know. In this particular survey, it was just like, only like 1% of people didn't know, meaning everybody has a very strong opinion about, is it a good time to buy or is it not a good time to buy?
Interesting.
I that was one thing that jumped out at me.
Yeah.
And I think part of it is we're all bombarded with all types of news. And of course, negative news is much more attractive for the news entities to publish than positive news. And the reality is, okay, fine. Maybe it's not a great time to buy because mortgage rates are high, affordability is rough, but you got to live somewhere.
Right.
I should tell this story. We have some rental homes. We've talked about it on the show before. And I put one on the market over the weekend last week, and a single family home on the west side, nice house, good condition for rent. And oh my gosh, you were watching me going crazy, getting all these inquiries about this home. How many people are looking for single family homes? You could not believe all the different stories I heard of people that want a single family home to rent. They can't buy for whatever reason, affordability, whatever it is. There is very little supply available for single family homes for rent. Apartments, that's a different story. There is supply in that market. There is, especially in the luxury market, there's quite a bit of I said luxury, the higher end apartments, there's quite a bit available. So anyway, yeah, I can see why the survey was pretty negative on home buying right now, just because it's tough. And what are you going to do? Okay, it's a bad time to buy, but what does that mean?
We're going to run out of time. I got to talk about a few open houses.
Okay.
So we have a newly listed property, 110 Richmond Drive, number 310. It's that really cool sort of mid-mod building by, Richmond.
Art Deco, kind of
Art Deco.
Art
Yes.
Deco, I think is the right word.
Art Deco.
Yeah.
Open today, just went on the market. It's open from 11 to 1, 110 Richmond Drive. You have to be greeted at the gate. It's got an inner courtyard that the doors all face,
Yep.
basically. And that inner courtyard is locked. So we'll have somebody at the gate and we have somebody at the house. So go see it 11 to 1 today. Call us if you need more information on that. 110 Richmond Drive. Great property. And we have one that's going on like right now as we speak.
An open house.
An open house.
Yeah.
On 7701 Hermanson
That's
Place.
if you are listening to it Saturday morning
at
10 o'clock.
At 10 o'clock.
When we normally come on. Yeah.
A 4-bedroom Mossman home, really great property, open right now until noon. So 7701 Hermanson Northeast. Just want to mention those. We have other open houses, other properties new to the market. We'd love to chat with you about it, see how we could help you with your real estate needs, whether you need to buy, sell. Boy, if you need to rent a house, we just rented ours out. So that's a tough one.
Yeah, it is tough. And we've talked about the build to rent phenomenon where they're building single family homes that go right to rent. They're never going to come available for sale. And that's happening in Albuquerque, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole right now. But I do want to hit on one other thing because I talked about it at the top of the show, which is how accurate are these automated valuation tools for your home, right? So Tracy, we have one that we provide to people if they want to find out what their home, get a ballpark on what their home is worth. And there's the most popular one that everybody knows is the Zestimate. Right. And so the Zestimate was really Zillow's kind of big claim to fame when they first launched, is they're going to put an automated valuation on every single home in the entire country. And that was a big task, and they did it. The question is, how accurate is it? And we've had this conversation over the years. New Mexico is known to be not very accurate because of the way our data is aggregated. However, there's an entity that does a lot of research and I don't know what you want to call it, economic research. And they looked at all the different automated valuation models out there. They're called AVMs, right? Zestimate is one of them. And they found that accuracy is within 5% is about 30 to 35% of the
estimates
of all the homes. They're saying about 30 to 35% are accurate within 5%. But then they found that about 70% are within about 15%. So anyway, it was interesting to see that. It's like you just got to remember all these automated things are just doing math. They're looking at what things have sold for, but they don't know the exact condition. They may not know exactly what's going on with the property. And Tracy, we've talked about it on the show that we have one that you can sign up for right on our website.
We sure do. WelcomeHomeABQ.com. Get on there and find the What's My Home Worth.
Yeah. And what that does, it'll send you
regular updates,
an automated valuation. But if you can look at it and go, it doesn't sound right, reach out to us and we can look at it and actually narrow that down and get that focus. One of the things that's cool about that is once you have that set up, you can put that in there, you put in your mortgage as well, and you can track your equity, right? How much equity you have. So you can track your net worth, or as part of your net worth, how much equity you have in your real estate.
Or if you want, just give us a call and we can put it in with you while you're on the phone. We're at 448-8888. Another week, Tego, on the radio, just like that.
No, I know. And we appreciate everybody that listens. If you got any questions about real estate, reach out to us.